Okay, ladies and gents, what I'd like to do is just walk you through the BCA appraisal journey, which of course starts in EMAX. So this is obviously a bit of a change from the EVA appraisal solution that you've been used to. Moving forward, what we're going to be doing is using a collaboration between EMAX and BCA, which are integrated functions. So there are a couple of videos. The first one, which is this, effectively is how we start the appraisal, effectively by completing the details in EMAX, and there are two ways in which we can do that. So the two ways in which we can do that are quite straightforward. We can load it in, or at least load the information into the desktop, which you'll all be familiar with, and of course you can, through the EMAX app, load customer data. So we're going to start with this one, the desktop version. About 80% of the salespeople across the group will load customer data straight to a desktop as opposed to using the app. So quite straightforward. We all know what we do. We hit on the customer here, which creates the sort of new customer option. It comes up with a blank screen. I've sort of fitted all of the or filled in all the information straight away to start with. Then we'll move on to the GDPR, which of course we're going to complete, and then it will ask us the vehicle inquiry, or at least what are the details of the vehicle that we want to pop in. So we'll pop in a vehicle right now. We're going to go for a little VW up. You can see, of course, it moving across the tabs at the top. So we're now going to sort of click on the information button. Of course, complete any qualifying info that you've gathered from the clients. It then moves on to the customer vehicle appraisal. Once we click that, it will look different from what you've been used to seeing. Normally you see a sort of a big yellow number plate box come up, and that's obviously where you would enter the reg number for the EVA solution, and it would take you straight to the appraisal. So we're not going to do that. It comes to this page, and what it's effectively doing is it's saying, well, what's the registration number of the car? So we're going to pop that in and click the little look up, which is just here, and it puts all the details in. So you can see that it's a little Mini Countryman GD17AXM. Now I'm just going to go down the screen, okay, just sort of move it down, and there are just two more elements that we have to pop in before we can push it to the BCA appraisal structure. So the first thing is we've got to put the mileage in from the client, so that will be what the customer's best guess is, assuming that they're sitting at your desk. And then the next thing is, it says, is the odometer warranted? Is it warranted mileage? So what we're going to do, if I just zoom in a little bit closer onto that, you can sort of see here, we'll put the mileage in and we'll change that to yes. Once you've done that, you just simply click the save button, and then the screen will have this sort of spinning wheel of death, and then obviously the details of the car will just stay on the screen. It is at that point that you can now go ahead and do the appraisal from the BCA app, and I'll take you through that journey in a separate video. What we're not going to do is do the appraisal through the BCA Dealer Pro web version, which is effectively on your desktop. We're going to use the iPad always to do. So that's the first journey to push the customer's part exchange into the BCA application for us to do an appraisal using the desktop. The other version is using the app, the EMAX app. So again, I'm going to fly through this. You'll click Add New Customer. It's a similar sort of journey, pretty much identical. You put the customer's data in, click Continue. We know what's happening. We're going to GDPR, and we complete all of that information, put any qualifying data in, and then it will take us to the vehicle of inquiry. So this is obviously where you're going to sort of put what car it is that the customer's interested in buying before it comes to an inquiry, configure it. Obviously if it's sort of German brands or models where you have to configure, click Continue, and then it will come up to this screen here, which is asking us to put the reg number of the part exchange in. So we use the same reg number just as in the interest of consistency, GD17AXM, and click the search. As soon as we do that, it will come up with, well, what's the sort of spec version of it. So we'll go for the Billy Basic Mini Countryman just here. In it goes. Are these details correct? They most certainly are. And then it wants us to put the mileage in. So again, customer potentially is in front of us, so it is our best guess with the client at this stage. We will, as you all know, put the exact mileage in when we go out, and you'll see that in the second video. So if we clicked yes, okay, we've got two options. We can now at this stage go straight to final action, but if you just keep pressing continue, we're just going to ignore all these parts of the appraisal. Continue, continue. You can see we're still on vehicle information here. No, we're not going to take any pictures. Now it takes us to final action, but as I said, we could have shortcutted that. So what we're going to do now is save and send the details to the manager. Make sure that we sort of put in sort of contact information here, and then we click the save, and once we do that, we are then in a position to complete the appraisal. Now the appraisal in BCA is a separate function that I will take you through, but you will have to put in a separate user ID and password. But this auto completes on your iPad, so it shouldn't be too painful. That's the initial stage one, getting the information into EnquiryMax for it to push over to BCA. The video 2 will take us through how we actually do the appraisal and how it ports back into EnquiryMax. So thanks for watching.